Namaste Akka.
Namaste.
Finally, the last set of the Q&As. So let's start with the first question, an important question. We see you telling us about itihasas and puranas and all those stories. How come we don't see you talking about those in any other platform?
Two reasons. First thing is I teach you the stories of Itihasa, Purana, etc. as part of our dance. So it's not like I'm teaching a subject or something, because it strengthens you guys as dancers, it improves your abhinaya, it improves your understanding of the context in which a dance item was composed. So I talk about it so frequently. But till now at least that has not been my main identity. People know me as a dancer and as a musician. So that's why I don't end up talking about Itihasa, Purana, history, India. I'm not a historian, but my love for history, Indian history, I don't end up talking about all those things on public platforms, because that has not been my main identity. But of course, thanks to YouTube, I am now talking about it, but maybe I will in the future, I don't know.
Next question, Akka. Bharatanatyam has both really complex theoretical parts and practical parts. How important do you think theory is?
It is very important, but as a student, for you I would say, or like students like you, I would say, especially nowadays, since students have very little time to actually dedicate to practice and stuff, in the initial years, don't break your head much with theory. Learn the practice of it, learn to love the art form, get your form, line and length, get all that into a very pakka zone. And then after that, if you're still able to pursue it, if you still have the time, energy, inclination, and the aptitude, then you definitely should study text, you should study the Lakshana Granthas, you should study the various theoretical books and treatises, but not in the initial stages. Especially as students, it's when you have only a little bit of time, put it more on the practical side. That said, like all of you kids that write exams and all the certification, you definitely do end up studying theory, so that's good. But if you have to give importance to this or that, I would say go with the practical aspects to begin with.
Yes, sir. Next question, Akka. Is there a particular reason why you chose Varna as the name of this academy?
Varna, as you know, means color. Art makes life colorful, and life without art would have no color. So that's why I chose Varna. But of course, later I realized that in the context especially of Bharatanatyam, and later with the discourses that were going around about art being controlled by few sections of society, this, that and the other, I did realize that the name Varna can sometimes be a complicated name, in the sense it could have people think of it as another way, in a different aspect, about the problematic history of dance and music, and some parts of the art field which are not as fair as we all would like them to be. But the reason I chose Varna is because I definitely believe that art makes life colorful.
It's a beautiful name, Akka. And speaking of Varna and the name, at the end of every video, you have the Daivam Dharmam Desham showing up. So why is that?
That's not just the motto of our school, but that's what I try to live life based on, because I genuinely believe that in Bharat, in this country, in this Veda Bhumi, Arsha Bhumi, every action, every act, every part of life, I feel revolves in this trikonam, in this just three aspects which I think govern our life. If you think about it, in our dharmic way of life, any act, any activity that you think of, like from the simplest of waking up or going to study or eating, everything is connected to these three. So any activity that you do which is not good for your country, needless to mention, Daivam, Dharmam, Rendu, Oppukovu. So you can't do. So I would reckon, and I would like to live life within these three goalposts, so to speak. So that's why I always, our YouTube videos end with Daivam, Dharmam, Desham.
Speaking of the last part, Desham, you always speak about your love for this country. is, can you suggest me 2 ways in which I could help my country more?
One way, my favorite way, live in this country. Live in this country, work in this country, study in this country, pay taxes in this country, buy property in this country, you're automatically helping your country. The second way in which you can not just help your country but your civilization, I would say, nowadays I see a lot of youngsters jumping into the debate connected to a lot of Indic subjects, civilizational, we see a reawakening, which is great, but we see a lot of youngsters jumping into the debate both this side and that side. So the suggestion that I would have for you as well as youngsters is read up a lot before jumping into the fray and either supporting things which happen in Bharat or criticizing them. Before doing either, I would suggest that you all should read a lot, and read as in read the Moola Kavyas, read the Adi Kavyas, read vernacular translations, read works by Indian authors, by traditional publishers, and like the publications of traditional mathams and all that, because that's when you will actually know the subject that you're debating. Because I see a lot of, many a time I notice that people are just shouting over each other. Neither this side nor that side has actually gone to the original scripture or the original grantha. So you're not really in a position to talk. You shouldn't. So yeah, first live in this country and read up.
I agree, Akka. Half knowledge is very, very dangerous. Speaking of reading, Akka, we know you to be an avid reader here at Varna. So what is your current read and what is your favorite read as well?
Favorite read, I don't know, I can't pinpoint, but yeah, current read, rereading the Valmiki Ramayana, the original with the Telugu translation. That's what I'm rereading, along with some light-hearted stuff also on the side. But yeah, right now reading the Ramayana, and the next in the pipeline would be rereading the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. That's the next one.
Another interesting question, Akka. So, very little people know that you are actually a law student and you gave up your career in law to become a full-time dancer and musician. Would you recommend that to other people?
Short answer, no. Not because the arts are not a good career to have. It's a great profession to be in. It's a great place to be in. It gives you a lot of happiness. But having said that, an artist's life is a very unpredictable, it can be a very unpredictable, unstable one. So if you're looking to earn a salary or have a certain financial stability by a certain age, then the arts may not be the right pick for you. If that said, if you have a plan B, or if you have a little bit security, if you're okay, then it's okay. If it's going to be a labor of love, then it's a great place to be in. But if you're, like I said, if you need to support your family or you need to support yourself, if you need that coming in, the arts are a difficult gamble. It's a difficult bet, which is why I said it's not, the arts, learning of arts should be for everybody, but before choosing it as a career, one should think of all aspects, because like the financial aspect is something that people don't talk about, but they should talk about it, because like they say, dhanamoolam idam jagat. So much as I love this country, much as I love the arts, like they say, Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi, one of my favorite quotes from the Ramayana, is that even heaven is not bigger than your motherland. And this land is the birthplace of all these arts. So it's, the arts per se are a great place to be in if you can manage the other aspect. Because if you're looking for immediate financial stability in the short run, the arts may not be the safest choice.
So, another unconnected question, Akka, something that everyone at Varna wants to know. How do you maintain such beautiful long hair?
By not messing with it. I don't put random products, styling products, all that is a no-no. And then the usual, listen to your grandmother, oil your hair twice a week, don't do funny stuff with your hair, your hair will stay fine. That's all.
That's it, Akka.
Thank you. I had
finally fun. The end of the Q&A session. I had lots of fun working with this.
I had fun too. Thank you.